It's time to shoot the rock. This is the Rockcastle Gun Show on ESPN 102.7 FM, AM 1450, AM 1230, and streaming live on ESPNKY.com. Your weekly double-barrel dose of the biggest names, best products, and most intriguing topics in the world of firearms. Brought to you by Hilux Optics, Swagger by Pods, Shoot with Confidence, J&K Used Cars on the Bypass, and Mohawk Outdoors. In pursuit of liberty, justice, and all things guns. Here are your hosts, Nick and Nate Noble.
Yeah, welcome back to the Rockcastle Gun Show on ESPN Radio 102.7 and 106.1 in E-Town. And we got a new sister station coming out with this 104 The Score in Glasgow. Can't wait for them to be on board.
Yeah, welcome back to the Rockcastle Gun Show. It's Nick and Nate Noble, your hosts. It's good to have Nate back in the studio with us. He's been elk hunting in eastern Kentucky, chasing those wapiti around the mountains of Kentucky, and so it's good to have you back in the studio, man.
It's good to be back, man. 20 days out in the bush, chasing the elk in the 96-degree weather.
Yeah, that was a challenge, huh?
Oh, man. Challenging for sure.
Never seen it this dry and hot, even though, this is traditionally our dry season, but it is just all our grass is brown, everything, and typically we just don't see that.
Everything's brown and leaves are falling off because of drought and not because of the fall, but hopefully we got some rain coming in this next week, and cooler temps will prevail for the ladies that are coming up to Rockcastle Shooting Center for the Girl and a Gun Fall Multi-Gun Festival. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be good. And we've got a really great show tonight. We're going to have our great friend Chris Schneider from 511 Tactical. We haven't talked clothes and gear and that kind of stuff for a while on the show, so we're going to have Chris come on and talk all things 511. They're doing some amazing stores open up. Retail locations all over the country, and it's just really good stuff. We're going to have Christy Connor Tate. She's a shooter that's up with the Girl in the Gun Fall Festival up at Rockcastle, and she's one of those ladies that shoots about almost 100 matches a year. So she's going to give us her perspective on the boots on the ground at Rockcastle right now of the ladies' Fall Fest that's getting ready to happen. And then we're going to have our great friend Dustin Sanchez from JP Enterprise, JP Rifles.
Yeah, they got some new long-range chassis and stuff coming out. John Paul, the founder of the company, one of the most awesome companies in the business, they've got a lot of new stuff coming out. And John Paul's a lover of the fine shooting products, and we're going to talk about all of JP Performance products when Dustin comes on. Check out their new stuff.
Yeah, so with all that's going to happen right now, we're going to go to just a short break right now, and we'll be right back with 511 Tactical's Chris Schneider. He's going to tell us all things about the tactical gear, great stuff that they're doing at 511 Tactical. You're listening to the Rockcastle Gun Show here on ESPN Radio 102.7, 106.1 in E-Town, and the new 104 The Score in Glasgow.
More than just harvesting animals. Why not better your deer herd's health with Big & J Long Range Attractant? Big & J is highly digestible, high in protein, and isn't full of preservatives. With Big & J Long Range Attractants, you're not only exploiting one of the few weaknesses whitetails have, their stomachs, but you're maximizing antler growth, improving overall herd health, and pulling deer from your neighbor's property. So whether your goals are to fill the freezer, kill mature bucks, or both, Big & J Long Range Attractants will stack the odds in your favor, all the while making your deer herd bigger and healthier.
J&K Used Cars is the place to go when you need a quality automobile at an affordable price. Stop in at 670 on the Bypass in Bowling Green and see this week's special. A 2006 Honda Ridgeline RTL, 4-wheel drive, 4 doors, good miles, leather sunroof, navigation, power options, chrome wheels, and more for only $10,995. Hurry in because at that price it won't last long. J&K Used Cars, with over 40 years of serving the community with affordable prices on quality automobiles. Visit J&K on the Bypass and online at jnkusedcars.com.
This is Nate from Rockcastle Shooting Center. Did you know that one of the premier shooting ranges in the world is right here in South Central Kentucky? Rockcastle Shooting Center has something for everyone's recreational shooting enjoyment. From 3D archery to our brand new sporting clays course, handgun ranges full of steel to targets out to a mile. There's no better place to get some trigger time than Rockcastle Shooting Center. Non-members are welcome, and memberships start at $150 per year. We offer a fantastic range of firearms training and education opportunities from the most basic to the most advanced. Come see us, exit 48 on I-65, Park City, Kentucky. Visit rockcastleshootingcenter.com.
It's John Scouten from Shooting USA on Outdoor Channel, and you're listening to the Rockcastle Gun Show on ESPN Radio.
Hey, welcome back to the Rockcastle Gun Show. It's your host, Nick and Nate Noble, here on ESPN Radio 102.7, 106.1 in E-Town, and the new 104 The Score in Glasgow, man. We're talking guns, Nate, all things guns, and we're going to talk a little bit about guns and gear. Tonight's guns and gear.
Yeah, and one of our best friends from the industry, one of the coolest dudes there is, the hardest working guy I know out there in the industry, because I don't think he ever sleeps, and he's an animal. From 511 Tactical, Christopher Schneider, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, guys, how y'all doing today? Boy, I don't know how to come on there with an intro like that.
I mean, come on, man. You're everywhere.
I know. I miss you guys. I'm like an hour north of y'all, or an hour south of y'all, and I should be coming down there more often.
I know.
I'm going down. I'm going to send you guys. I love coming out there. I mean, you guys got one of the best places. Everywhere I go, I just boast about it all the time. So I am coming down. I'm going to bring a whole troop of people down there and come say hi and hang out for the day.
Well, you know, once you moved to Nashville, which is only about 85 miles away, we just never see you anymore. We saw you more when you lived in California, bro. So, but
that's true.
But
we've just been so busy.
Well, and that's what we wanted to talk about. I mean, watching you, I was talking to Nate. I was like, hey, we need to get Chris back on, because you guys, 511 is kicking butt left and right. You know, tell us a little bit about 511, the brand, and then if I would think most of our folks that are familiar with firearms and listen to the show and tune in and are downloading this all over the world with our iTunes podcast know about the brand. But it's a storied brand. It's been around a long time, and you guys are really just shaking it up and doing great things.
You know, it's all about the story, and it is a great story. We come out of the mountain climbing and mountain gear business from way back, and the first pair of cargo pants, which became the first pair of tactical pants, was our pants back in the early 70s, and it became the official pant for every FBI in the world. People know the 511 came from the mountain climbing term in Yosemite Valley, where we were born, Half Dome, and all the major climbers all climbed in. All the world-class climbers climbed in Yosemite Valley, and we created that pant, and the level of difficulty is based on the Yosemite decimal system. Easiest climbing 5.1, 5.2, 5.3. At the time when the pants were first created and designed, the most difficult climb in Yosemite Valley was a 5.10. We called that pant the 511, being higher and more outstanding and superior than anything else, and impossible that only few could ever accomplish. And from pants, you know, from a pants company, which we primarily still are a pants company, we started doing, you know, backpacks, knives, watches, boots. And then we got into the, big boxes. You know, we had thousands of dealers, and our core customers just police, fire, military, and that's the only people we'd sell to. I mean, literally, unless you knew somebody in the industry, we wouldn't sell to you. And then later on, as we started growing and the consumer was really kind of pounding on the door and asking for it, we finally caved in, and we started going to some of the big boxes like Bass Pro, Cabela Sportsman's, Academy, and it really grew and took off. But a lot of those big boxes, you know, there's so many competitors and copycats out there, they only carry a small little portion of what we have. And again, people wanted to touch and feel it, and the only way to buy our stuff then, because we didn't have stores, was to shop online. And like me, I like to put a pair of boots on and make sure they feel good, and a pair of pants on.
Yeah, walk around.
Once I have that, and then once I have that, then I'm okay buying it online once I've tried it once. But then we started building our own stores, and we just literally opened 3 weeks ago. So Tulsa, Oklahoma had our soft opening. I'll be going out there October 12th is our Tulsa, Oklahoma grand opening. And if you've never, well, you guys have been to our grand opening here in Nashville and a couple other ones. People camp out overnight. The first 70 people in line get gift cards worth valued up to $511. They got raffles. They got free food. It's a party. Unless you're, I like to tell people, unless you're like Apple or Nike or some people just don't do that. And we're so honored to have such loyalty fans, and literally they camp out for days just to be first in line. So
yeah, and I'm
that's
sure.
What I've been doing.
Yeah, I'm sure the Tulsa grand opening, we have the company of Miss Diana Muller this weekend up here, 511 team member, and I'm sure she's going to be at your grand opening out there in Tulsa. That's her hometown.
I think she was planning on it. I think she's going to be out of town. You know, she's been run like a mad woman about D.C., and how proud we're her speak on behalf of all the gun carrying and Second Amendment rights and education on firearms.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Congress?
Yeah, she testified in front of the House Judiciary Committee in Congress last week, and she's here at The Rock this week. And we had her on the show last week. It was just intriguing to hear her perspective of being in the lion's den and talking about gun rights. And matter of fact, she's getting tons of press right now, and CBS News is going to be following her around Rockcastle all day tomorrow, so that'll be interesting as well. So, but you guys,
what a great ambassador to your listeners, and how she just, she did a great job. She was quite an ambassador for the Second Amendment and rights and caring folks.
Absolutely. So, we have been to a couple of the 511 store grand openings. We were out in Vegas when you did one out there. We were in Nashville. And to walk into the store, you think pants and, tactical pants and stuff, but you guys do have a broad line of equipment and gear, and it's really just an amazing thing. And, I always love going to the SHOT Show and going into your booth because, A, it's packed and there's, telling who you'll see in there, signing autographs and do all kinds of things. But you got the Black Rifle Coffee Company right there passing out free coffee, which is really good. So you guys are killing it.
Yeah, we have very limited of third party. Most of our stuff we do our own manufacturing, but we do have a couple like North American Rescue. Black Rifle Coffee is our number one third party seller, where we sell the whole bean and ground, and I'm super jazzed because Black Rifle just expanded. They're down here in Tennessee now. They have a roasting plant in Manchester. So when you guys come down, we got to jump down it. So this may be an hour south of where I live, or like 30 minutes from downtown Nashville, and we'll take you for a tour down there and hook up with TD down there and get a tour. You can actually see them roasting the beans. You walk in there and you smell freedom right there. They got a nice little gift shop, so you get more coffee, every flavor and blend in there, and their shirts and mugs, and it's a pretty cool place. And then they have a distribution place that's in Manchester, and the distribution's in Mount Juliet. So if any you guys, all your fans, the radio fans that listen, go down there. They'll take you for a tour. They're talk about freedom in America. Those are the boys right there that are really making some ground.
Well, and they do a really good job in just marketing, digital marketing, but 511 does too. You don't have people camping out in front of your stores without you guys do incredible campaigns, and you've created such a loyalty. I think it's a testament to the quality of your products, and folks, law enforcement officers, military folks, professional shooters, they're all using your gear. And you guys have done a nice job capturing that. Is there any new items that you want to kind of talk about? Because I'll tell you what, and these aren't new items, but my 511 jeans that we got from you are the most comfortable jeans. That's the only things I wear now, and they're absolutely fantastic.
So the Defender are not even new now. Now they've been out about 2 years, but I still think of them as being new. But they're pretty revolutionary, the Defender Flex jeans. And I kid around with people. I said, they are the most comfortable pants. I'd throw my Levi's and all them other brands away. But they have hip pockets that hold a 30-round magazine in the back. And not that I carry a 30-round magazine everywhere I go, but I put my wallet and my phone back there. And every time you sit in your car, sit at a dining room table, or walk in, that you're never sitting on your wallet. You're never sitting on a phone. And a lot of people don't even know that front pocket, that little coin pocket you see in most jeans that's made for a pocket watch, that pocket goes down a full 5 inches and holds a handgun magazine. So when you're sitting, it's a two-way stretch. I had guys who bought those in Vegas when we just launched them at SHOT Show, and 2 years later, I just ran them at the NRA show last time around, and he's been wearing them for 2 years, even though that hidden pocket existed for 30-round magazine.
That's cool.
It's Chris, and I love this pen.
I got a pair of 511 hunting boots 4 years ago. Nick and I both got them, and I just, after, how hard I hunt, and I've been hiking the last 21 days relentlessly in the heat and mud puddles and you name it, and my 511 boots have held up for 4 elk seasons now, and they're still waterproof, which is amazing.
Yeah, our customer service bar now, when somebody has a problem, they do it. But one thing I did want to bring up, too, is that we started expanding stores. We have our locals, our regular customers come in on basis. We've been running like crazy these ABR academies. It's called Always Be Ready, which is our motto. And right now they have the National Fire Prevention Weeks going on. So we're doing fire and rescue classes in a lot of the stores. Concealed carry, lifestyle, how to carry concealed. We've had Stop the Bleeding classes. And so if you go online, if you go to the 511 Facebook page, go to the events and scroll down. You can go down and see all the events. And those ABR academies, they offer a lot of deals and discounts off and gift purchases. when you go in there and sign up for a class. They're all free. We don't ever charge for a class. If you have some of your guys out there in that industry that are instructors and you want to be instructors and teach it in our classes, we welcome to come in. So they can always reach out and get a hold of me, email me or catch me on Facebook, Chris Schneider at 511, and I'll help them out and get them plugged in if they want to be instructors at any of these ABR classes. So.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, what a great program that is, and we need more and more of that, and I can't think of a better place than 511 Tactical retail store to go in and take those. Do you guys do those at other locations outside of your own? Like, could you do one at Rockcastle if we hosted one or something?
Oh, absolutely. We'd love to do that.
Yeah.
So you guys probably, you guys have the staff and the cadre members to be able to do that. Love to host and sponsor something like that. So it's really all about education, and I think Diane, we talked about Diane earlier, it's all about education and really bringing people's knowledge of what's going on out there. That's what makes us a tighter-knit family. So,
absolutely. Chris, it's so good to have you on the show. I know you got to go to a conference call here, but we wanted to just take the opportunity to say, hey, thank you for everything you do for the shooting sports. 511 Tactical is a huge supporter of that. You got a shooting team, but you make incredible products. And for all those listeners out there, whether they're listening live tonight or on our podcast tomorrow, across the country, across the world, check out 511 Tactical, their Facebook page, their website, and that kind of jazz. And be on the lookout. Follow Chris Schneider because he is a man about town. He's
coming to a town near you.
He's coming to a town near you, and he also knows how to have fun. He's always hanging out with country music stars and pro bull riders and just and American heroes. So
I love you guys.
What would Chris Schneider do?
What would Chris Schneider do?
What would Chris Schneider do? I don't know if you want to go there on every one of those. So guys, I'm going to bolt off, but if you need anything, please reach out, and it's always great to be on the show.
All right, it's great to have you. Chris Schneider from 511 Tactical. It was great to have him. So we've got to talk gear, a little bit. Now we're going to go to a break and talk more about some shooting competitions with the Ladies Fall Fest that's going on. Some incredible storylines there, and we'll talk to Chrissy Connor State, and we'll come back right after that with Dustin Sanchez from JP Rifles, and we'll be right back right after these messages. You listen to the Rockcastle Gun Show on 102.7, 106.1 in E-Town, and the new 104 The Score in Glasgow.
This is a Morgan & Morgan consumer message.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. One of the first things clients ask me is, what is my case worth? It depends on the injury, liability, and damages. And in most cases, it depends on the lawyer you hire. All lawyers are not the same. I would like to invite you to visit forthepeople.com to see what your case might be worth. You will see injuries like yours, offers made by the insurance company, and verdicts made by juries. We try more cases than any firm in America every year. Insurance companies know which law firms try cases and which firms settle cheap. Your case value is different in the hands of different lawyers. There was only one Babe Ruth, and then hundreds and hundreds of minor league players. I've been around now a long time, fought countless battles. We are fighters who take on giants. In some cases, you hired your lawyer without doing your research, and you can just as quickly fire them if you now think you made a mistake. You only get one swing of the plate. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Offices, Bowling Green.
The U.S. Army is offering up to $65,000 in student loan reimbursement as a new enlistment incentive. The program is available for nearly 50 different occupations, covering both full-time and part-time careers in the U.S. Army and Army Reserve. The total amount of loan reimbursement varies depending on the length of the individual's enlistment contract. For more information, talk to your local Army recruiter or check us out online at www.goarmy.com.
Hey, it's Nick Noble with the Rockcastle Gun Show here. We're talking about Swagger bipods. Do you want just your average barrel rest, or do you want to shoot with some swagger? Introducing the Swagger bipods. They expand your shooting zone with Swagger, the all-terrain hunting bipod. After more than 100 years, finally shooters have a bipod with patented, flexible, hyper-extending telescoping legs that give you the agility like never before. So get rid of stiff legs and get the bipod with infinite maneuverability. Swagger, the bipod that moves.
This is Tim Jensen from Gun Style. You're listening to ESPN, the Rockcastle Gun Show.
Yeah, everybody. It's the Rockcastle Gun Show. The only gun show on ESPN Radio, bringing you the biggest names, best products, most interesting topics in the world of firearms. I almost couldn't say that. But every week, Wednesday night, 6, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Don't forget about our podcast, because if you missed the show, you need to subscribe to the Rockcastle Gun Show on your place where you get any of your podcasts. You can go on there and find it. And we're way deep in episodes. We've been doing this for a couple years now. It's pretty cool. And it's exciting because every week it's a new topic, new 3 topics. We try to we're a variety show, and we don't stop. We got competition. We talked about guns and gear. We're going to go to competition with some ladies.
Well, our next guest, we're really happy to have her on. She's one of the Rockcastle just regulars. She and her husband, Tater, are at the Rock a lot. But Chrissy Connor Tate's our guest. She is a member of the DC Project. She represents the state of Georgia, but she's up for the Girl and a Gun Fall Fest, the Multi-Gun Challenge and Multi-Gun sports event, and it's going to be huge. Christy, how about it? What up?
Oh, it is going to be huge. I mean, we have women coming from all points of the United States, and they come here to be at the Rock, and every single one of them comes up and they say, gosh, I'm so glad to be here, and we are all glad to be here.
Yeah, one of our favorite events of the year is this, and really what I like about it the most is these ladies, a lot of them are very, very new to competitive shooting. They're actually there to learn. There's a multi-gun university, a 3-gun university, and there's all kinds of trainings that they can do. They can walk around with some of the pro shooters and do stage plans and things. And and I think the festival, the Fall Fest part of it is much more than just a competition, isn't it?
It absolutely is. And, you know, a Girl and a Gun shooting league, the saying is it's more than shooting. And, you know, we have people that are just like me that didn't start shooting until later in life. I started in my 50s. And when they say it's more than shooting, you know, you meet people that are like-minded. You feel empowered because, you know, in my case, I watched 3-Gun on television. I thought, God, it's so cool, but I could never do that. And the Girl and a Gun, their message is, yes, you can and you should. So there's a lot going on here that is more than just, you know, pulling the trigger.
Well, tell us a little bit about Girl and a Gun. You know, it is. I think they're at 160 different ranges across the United States. This is a national movement. Juliana Crowder and Robin Sandvall, we had them on the show, you know, highlighting this match a couple weeks ago. But, you know, this is something that, you know, no matter where you are in the United States, you can get involved in at a local level, isn't it?
It is. And, you know, you just look up, you go to the Girl and Gun website, and they can put you in touch with a facilitator in your area and go to events that are women-friendly where you're more comfortable. You know, we love our men folk, we do, but sometimes, you know, women are different kinds of adult learners, and we need to see it, hear it, touch it, you know, get a chance to tune our mind and body into doing something in a little bit of a environment where we feel safer. I think a lot of women are socialized to worry about how they look doing something, and one of the biggest things about a Girl and a Gun is learning to feel powerful in your own skin, and that is facilitated, I think, because we have the women instructors. This is a fabulous organization. The gun industry is behind us 100%, and everybody's doing great work here. So this is kind of a culmination of an entire year of shooting with facilitators, you know, and we all come here and have our big, you know, shooting match, and it's awesome.
A Girl and a Gun and the weekend is really, to me, one of the perfect examples of the firearms industry because
that's right.
Age, background, race, gender, you know, all those things come together in one place. And I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this. Nick and I have come from the corporate world. We've worked in retail all our lives. You can't get, and this is a testament to the shooting sports, you can't get 150 women together without drama. But they do, but you do up there, right?
Listen, drama makes the world go round, and it agitates things and makes it better, so don't knock it. Don't knock it, Nick.
No, but it is amazing to me that it doesn't, you know, California, different states, different professions. There's doctors, and I mean, you run the gamut. There's teenage girls that come in and that are instructors. You know, it's awesome.
It is. And another thing I want to point out is it's a bipartisan group, because everybody here recognizes that, the right to shoot and the right to learn about firearms and the right to learn about self-defense and responsible gun ownership is bipartisan. We have people here that are left-leaning, right-leaning, because we recognize that no matter what side of the aisle you sit on or where you come from, being your own first responder is a bipartisan right and a skill that we all care about.
Yeah, and I think more important for women than I believe in men. I mean, there's not a woman in this world, in my opinion, that should not have a concealed carry permit and know how to properly use a firearm in self-defense or in sport or whatever you want to do. And I think that this is just the perfect venue and perfect competition and festival, really, to promote all that. And I love how the ladies are they're all laid back. Coaching is not, it's encouraged. I mean, you guys are all coaching each other on. I know you're going to be a squad mom, and you're going to have all kinds of ladies there that maybe haven't shot. Now, you shoot in a lot of matches. I wanted to say, how many matches do you shoot a year?
Between 60 and 100. It doesn't make me better. But,
I understand, but that
makes me funner, though.
Yeah, and serious range time, serious experience there, and what I love about this match is all those newbies, the newer folks. Last year I think we had a 60-year-old lady that was the first time she'd ever even thought about joining a competition, and she had an absolute blast because she was sitting there learning from folks just like yourself and young girls like Beth Walker and all kinds of great people.
Yeah, I mean, it's fabulous what happens when women get together on the range. We lift each other up, and we really could be an example for the rest of the world. And being a woman in business as well, the thing that I've had to learn is that we don't get anywhere by tearing each other down. And this is a venue where everybody lifts each other up, they cheer each other on, and it's the kind of energy that people who've not been involved in it come in from the outside, and that's what leaves the biggest impression. We rarely have trouble getting ROs because, they feel like they've been to, some sort of cheering squad for their lives as well, because they can see this example of what happens when people come together and work together.
Absolutely. So, folks, your listeners in the area, you can come up and check this thing out, check in at the front desk, sign a waiver, and and watch some of the best female shooters in the world up there, and then ladies from every background come up and shoot in the multi-gun challenge. So the way this thing is going to happen, it's going to officially start Friday. Is that right? Yeah, so that is correct. It officially starts Friday, and then you're going to do the multi-gun challenge. Explain what that is. That's a 3-gun match, right?
First, we're going to have the multi-gun challenge, which is your classic 3-gun, where women will be shooting pistol, a 12-gauge shotgun, and an AR-15 sporting rifle. And then, so we'll shoot Friday and Saturday. We'll shoot 5 stages on Friday, 3 on Saturday. And then the next day, we have a really interesting format. It's the multi-sport challenge. So we'll have a little long-range shooting. We'll have a little IDPA. We'll have a little cowboy action shooting, sporting clays. And it'll give the manufacturers and us a chance to, put our hands on their gear and try different things. And it kind of, it's a little intimidating to me because, you get accustomed to your own gear and your own guns, and we're going to have to use loaners. And that's going to sort of level the playing field a little bit between some of the pro shooters and some of the new shooters. So it's going to be fabulous.
Absolutely. And some of the folks that are coming in to help put on the match, for instance, in the cowboy action, we've got Andy Marshall, who's been on the show before, but 3 of the 12 strong, the horse soldiers that made the movie about, they're actually going to be the range officers.
You're kidding
That's
me.
Who your range officers are going to be for this, and it goes on and on. So not only cowboy action, but just some very talented people up there donating their time for that multi-sport challenge, and it's just going to be a blast.
Well, there is no doubt when we come to the Rock, the women who come and shoot this match, they feel the love, and the Rockcastle Shooting Center becomes sort of a touchstone. We got to get back every year, and I wish that I could express in words the magic of this place, and we're glad to get out here and talk about it and share it and try to get other people to come out and see what you're doing out here. And it's not just the shooting, but you guys are doing a lot of conservation with the bats and the butterflies. And
yeah, I took Christy down to our bat cave the other night, and that was pretty cool, watching hundreds of gray bats coming out of our cave at this time of year. It's pretty cool.
And I did not realize they were endangered until you told me, and that is something I'm going to talk about when I do my annual breakdown of the ladies' match. So
that's great.
We appreciated that a lot.
Absolutely. Well, I wanted to pivot just a little bit in the time remaining. You are also critical, and you're part of the D.C. Project. You represent Georgia, and we've talked about the D.C. Project a lot about on this, but I think it's one of the most important Second Amendment movements out there, where 50 ladies go to Washington, they meet with legislators, they invite them to the shooting ranges. The founder of that, Lady Diana Muller, was in front of Congress last week testifying under oath. I know that CBS News is going to be there tomorrow following her around. She's been on every national news headline that for the last week. And you help her with that. I know you were helping her kind of get some things together today. But, the lady, in my opinion, ladies have just a voice that can be heard much stronger and louder than men can as it relates to the Second Amendment and our rights. And you play an instrumental part of it. How important is that to you? And you've obviously, you're part of the fabric of the movement. What's that mean to you?
It's exceedingly important because, as we've talked about many times with Congress and with other people that might not understand why we're so passionate about protecting these rights, is that for women especially, having a handgun and being trained to use it is a great equalizer. Despite what anybody says, there are physical differences between men and women. We embrace those. We understand it. And a gun helps us defend our families and defend ourselves against an attacker that's often stronger and faster. And with some of my training, I also know that a bad guy already knows what he's going to do. So if you take a woman that's smaller, maybe not as physically strong, and you take away her gun, then she's already, 5 points down. There's so many stories about women who have, been murdered because, A, they ran out of ammunition, B, because they didn't have a gun at all. And then there are stories about women that were able to use a handgun defensively and save their lives and the lives of their family. I know this happened in Georgia at least twice. Had a lady in Gwinnett. I'm passionate about it also because the Bill of Rights and the Constitution means something, and it has a certain automatic thing that goes. It doesn't matter how much technology comes into play, and we have to protect that because we're chipping away at this. We're trading our liberty for a false sense of security. And, these mass shootings only account for 2% of all gun deaths, and yet it just seems to be driving the narrative. And, we're concerned about everyday gun violence. And with that concern comes the concern that we're going to be able to continue to protect ourselves. You'll notice that most of the initiatives, the strongest gun control laws in the world, are in municipalities where women need a gun the most, and
Absolutely.
We can't say enough about that. We have a lot of members that have been in situations where they weren't allowed to have a gun. I could go on and on, so I'm going to be quiet.
No, I think you're doing a perfect job.
I had kind of an epiphany driving down the road the other day that the gun industry doesn't. Maybe I was sitting on a mountain. I don't know. The gun industry sometimes gives the wrong message. You shall not be infringed, shall not be infringed. Right. We repeat it over and over and over again, and I think we need to add a couple words to that because the Second Amendment says, therefore, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And everybody forgets about the therefore part.
Exactly. And I'm always entertained by the fact that, what we have going on in our government right now, the same people who think they should impeach Trump also want to give him all the guns. Does that make any sense to you? I mean, it's kind of a microcosm of the way people think, but it just always kind of throws me for a loop that they can't understand that simple concept.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And today, out west in Las Vegas, they were having a gun rights summit it was all not our people. All the presidential candidates on one side were out there, talking about stripping and Second Amendment rights, and the whole conference was about that today. And here we are in Kentucky celebrating the Second Amendment with 150 fine ladies from all over the country that love to keep and bear arms, right?
That is correct.
Christy, I would one more question for you. How would you, as our listeners and their podcast listeners all over the world, and radio listeners listen live and stream it on ESPN Radio 102.7.com, but how would you invite somebody that maybe is interested, but maybe just a little, and men or women, that are maybe a little timid because they've never really been around guns, but that they probably know that they maybe should get involved and learn how to use them and be safe and everything else. How would you, and what's some of your best advice for those folks?
Well, first of all, I would say to them, you've already recognized the need to learn how. Go to a Girl and a Gun, see if there's a facilitator. If there's not, there are plenty, great NRA handgun courses, but find a good instructor that you feel comfortable with. Ask a friend, ask me. They can find me on Facebook and message me, and I will do what I can to help put you in touch with somebody. A lot of women don't do things because they're embarrassed or worried about how they're going to look, and that's power that you're giving to somebody else because you're going to look just fine. It's a personal decision. I get a lot of texts from people that are actually Democrats and liberals, and they don't want anybody to know that they're going to arm up. But it's not something to be ashamed of.
Exactly.
Let's go to the range. Call me up. I'll put you in touch with. I will find somebody. I have connections all across the country, and we're all willing to help people feel empowered and learn, how to defend themselves and how to handle a gun safely and responsibly.
Amen. It may just be me, but I think a girl with a gun looks way better than a girl without a gun. It's just maybe it's just my thing. I don't know. Maybe it's part of our upbringing here at Rockcastle Shooting Center. Christy Connerty, our guest, up there at a Girl and Gun Fall Festival. Y'all come check it out this weekend. We're going to be up there Friday and Saturday and Sunday shooting multi-gun and multi-sport challenge. Come up and check it out. Christy, thank you so much for being on the show.
Hey, thank you for having me, and thank you for all you guys do to protect our Second Amendment and our environment.
Yeah.
We'll see you later.
All right. You're listening to the Rockcastle Gun Show on ESPN Radio 102.7, 106.1 in E-Town, and the new 104 The Score in Glasgow. We'll be right back after these messages.